Get calm, how to reduce anxiety in 90 seconds. In this video, I'll be sharing with you a quick cognitive behavioral technique to reduce anxious thoughts. I'm Karen, a holistic psychotherapist, and I bring you videos on holistic well-being so that you can live your most optimal life. Anxiety affects 1 in 5 people, and it is the condition that is most often diagnosed in women. Cognitive behavioral therapy is a very effective tool at reducing your anxiety once you've identified your anxious thoughts. And so today I'll be sharing with you a quick tool that you can download below in the description box. Just hit the little link down below and you'll get the cheat sheet and print it out in landscape mode instead of portrait mode. So that because it is sideways, so you'll be able to use that sheet to actually work with your thoughts. So cognitive behavioral therapy at its source believes that our cognitions or thoughts are at the source of our feeling states and our behavioral states, or how we behave. And so if we want to change our behaviors and want to change our feeling states, then we must attack it at the source, which is our thoughts. Okay, so first you must identify your anxious thoughts, and there are many other videos that can teach you to identify your thoughts, but I today really want to get at how to change your anxious thoughts once you've identified them. So there are questions that you can ask yourself when you're having anxious thoughts. There's particular questions to ask, and I've narrowed them down to 4. And don't worry about memorizing them, because all you need to do is download that cheat sheet down below. Okay, so first you identify your anxious thoughts. First of all, what is an anxious thought? It could be what's known as a catastrophizing thought, which is, oh my God, I'll never get a job again, which is seeing it as it's a catastrophe. It could also be absolute thinking, like all or nothing thinking, like I'll never get this, or this always happens to me. This is absolute, seeing it as all or nothing. And anytime you have a thought that starts with what if this happens, or what if that happens, you know that that is an anxious thought. At first, I want you to write this down on the little sheet. It really will help you organize your thoughts by actually writing them down. So it will take you longer than 90 seconds the first few times that you try this technique, but then with practice, you'll realize that you don't need the sheet anymore, you don't need the questions anymore, because you've gotten pretty good at understanding the process, and it really will take you less than 90 seconds to change an anxious thought into a more balanced, more peaceful thought. So let's go through the questions, and then we'll work with an example. The first question, once you've identified your anxious thought, is this true? Is this thought true? The second question is, where's the proof? Show me proof of where this is the case. The third question is, what's more realistic, or how would someone else think about this issue? The last question is, what can I do right now to reduce my anxiety? Should I meditate? Should I do yoga? Should I be going outside for a walk? Can I pray? Can I engage in a hobby or other activity that might be distracting? So first, you identify your anxious thought, and then you ask, is this true? And then you say, where's the proof? Or third question, what's more realistic? How would someone else see this issue? And lastly, you ask, what can I do in this moment to reduce my anxiety? What kind of activity can I do to just change my state? Now, let's work with an example. So let's say that you're having a bit of a difficult time finding a job, and your worrisome thought is, what if I don't get the job I just applied to? I feel so incompetent. So that's the anxious thought. What if I don't get the job? I feel so incompetent. Okay. So is it true that I feel incompetent? Okay, yes, you might say, yes, I do feel incompetent. The next question is, where's the proof? Is there any proof that you are incompetent? So you go back in your history and you look at the other jobs that you've had or have not had. Most likely, let's say in this particular example, yes, you've gotten other jobs that you've wanted before. And so is it true that you'll never get the job? The evidence shows that you are very capable of getting a job, and so are you incompetent? The answer most likely is no. Actually, the answer is no, you're not incompetent. And the third question is, what's more realistic, or how would someone else think about this? And so you can think about rather than say, what if I never get the job? I feel so incompetent. You can say something like, well, I've gotten other job I've applied to when I've really followed through with the employer and connected with them after the interview. That was a successful technique for me. So that's more realistic, is that after applying for a job, the chances of me being successful are greater when I connect back with that employer. And the last thing is, if you're still feeling anxious about it, just do something different. Get out of the house, go for a walk, engage in yoga, meditation, or prayer, or a hobby, or something distracting. It's not beneficial to you to go over this thought over and over again once you've identified that it's not completely a true thought, and there is no proof to it or very limited proof to it, and you've identified a way that's more realistic to look at it. That just feels better in your body when you look at it more realistically than as if it's a catastrophe. Another example of an anxious thought or feeling state is, let's say you have to do a public speaking engagement and you're just nervous about getting on stage. So you might say something, or you've identified that the anxious thought behind what you're feeling is that, oh my God, what if I make a fool of myself? What if I forget what I'm talking about and everybody laughs at me? The question is, where's the proof? Well, it's actually not yet proven that you've made a fool of yourself, but you can look at your history and say, have I ever made a fool of myself while talking in public speaking? I mean, you can say sometimes I do tend to get nervous at first, but then it seems to get a little bit better. So what's more realistic? What's a more realistic way of looking at it, and how would someone else look at it? You can say that everybody actually feels very nervous when they're about to do a public talk or talk in public speaking. And so you could say that everybody feels this way. This is completely normal. My anxious feelings are completely normal. And the last question, well, what can I do about it? What can I actually do that would maybe make me feel a little bit better? It might be a breathing exercise or meditation or prayer or physical activity. So I encourage you to download that cheat sheet and really work with it, really use it to change your thoughts from anxious thoughts to more realistic, more balanced, just more pleasing thoughts that actually reduce your internal state of anxiety. If you have any questions, please post your comments down in the comments below and I will answer them as best as I can. As well, you can find me at KarenJohnston.life. That's my website if you want additional information. And you can find me on Instagram at Holistic Karen. Have a great day and get calm.